All right, market recap today for February 6th. I took no trades today, but that is a win in my book. What did I say yesterday? Capital preservation. That is all I was focused on coming into the market this morning. I had two trade ideas that they ended up playing out. If we just come here, we were in between two gaps essentially. So today, this morning was pretty low volatility. You can see we haven't moved out of this range really. Capital preservation. That was my whole goal coming into today, and that's exactly what I did. So this is a win in my books. This is why I haven't been able to find the success that I want to have with these prop accounts, is because I've lacked the ability to actually preserve capital on days where opportunity, like clear opportunity, isn't presented. A day like today on a Friday after having a very good week, I might have forced a bad trade. It's just as simple as not taking trades when the market is not presenting opportunity. So with that being said, coming into this morning, we continued to sell off yesterday, clearly breaking structure on the daily time frame. Like I said yesterday, this is the obvious draw on liquidity, this weekly low down here. Now zooming in, we put in a low overnight and got bought back up. So we're in this area of price here. Where are we going to? We're obviously getting a strong retrace. Where are we retracing to? Well, there's this 4-hour fair value gap right here, and there's also a daily imbalance up here. Those are my two retracement targets for the morning. Coming to the 1-hour chart, we opened up right here. We had not yet touched the 4-hour or the 1-hour fair value gap. So what I wanted to see ideally was us to tap the 1-hour and go take the 4-hour, because that's what makes the most logical sense. We're obviously retracing for a reason. Why? To go fill inefficiencies. This is the clearest, closest, most prominent inefficiency that's present. So this is the clear target for the day. So I wanted to see us get potentially a deep retrace into this 1-hour fair value gap and then go take the 4-hour sell side imbalance. And that's actually exactly what happened when the market opened. But as you can see, it pretty much happened within a 5-minute span. And yeah, there just wasn't a lot of opportunity. I wanted to see a deeper retrace into this. The third candle of market open comes down, wicks it. This is like very, very similar to the potential long from yesterday. Internal high is right here. We come down, tap a gap, and we start to clearly and obviously displace to the draw on liquidity higher. You can't tell me after this candle right here, this big doji wick, an insanely strong close up. This is a total of a 131 point candle. You can't tell me that we're not going to go take the 1-hour gap at this point in time. You just cannot tell me that we're not going to do that. Coming to the 5-minute chart, and this is why I didn't take a trade here. Would it have played out? Obviously, yes, you can see it would have played out. But the ideal scenario is we close here. We don't take the internal high because we already swept the internal high, right? And then we get a deeper retrace to then take a trade. Here, if you took this trade, like, obviously it's a good read. I was not, like I said, capital preservation, and this is going to help me in the long run. Like, it would have resulted in a trade this morning, but in the long run, this is what's going to help me preserve my capital. I just did not like this whatsoever. This is a very shallow retrace. We had already taken the internal high, and the key here, which is really why I did not want to take a trade here, is ES had already tapped the 4-hour gap. So ES there was basically an SMT. SMT, we had already swept out the internal high on NQ, and then we get the retrace. So that is why I did not take a trade. I did not take this long. There's two things, the internal high being swept and the SMT with ES. Those two things is what swayed me away from not taking the trade. I did not want to set a limit order here and just get ran through on a Friday after already having a good week. That's just not. I was not willing to put that on the table personally. If you caught this, that's fine. I wanted to have more protected stop as well, and then it just wasn't a very deep retrace. If we go to the 5-second chart, this is a scenario where zooming into the 5-second within this 1 minute imbalance, when there's just clear, very fast, volatile displacement right off the market open, you can zoom in, find the internal model. There's not even a whole bunch of 5-second structure here. Ideally, you come down, retrace, get a clear market structure shift, pull back, and then you're able to enter, something like that. That was never even offered here. You can just see, it just wasn't a very deep retrace at all. This was the only potential trade of the morning. So I did not take this. Capital preservation, but you can see after that happens, I'm zoomed out. I'm not getting chopped up in this. I'm just not. I've been here so many times trying to force something, just getting chopped up on the 1 minute chart. There's no reason to even be on the 1 minute chart because, like I said, right now we're in between gaps. All the higher time frames are clearly bearish. We've already retraced to the high time frame gap. So it's what are we gonna do? We could potentially continue to just blow through it. With this 15-minute close, I thought maybe we're going to just continue to blow through it, come to the daily gap. There's also liquidity up here. So I was open to potentially forcing the market to prove to myself that we're going to continue higher. And that's the biggest thing is once your draw on liquidity is taken, zoom out and make it prove to you that we're going to continue trending, just continue trending towards the next draws on liquidity, and we never did that. Like I said, once we come to this 4-hour gap, I'm zoomed out. There's no reason to be taking a short until we start to run through this 1-hour imbalance. There's no reason to be taking a long until we run through this 4-hour imbalance. We're in between imbalances, so what do? Nothing. And you just sit there and you're content with not taking a trade because I've already had tremendous opportunity all throughout this whole week. I've taken a trade every single day this week. So, like I said, name of the game, capital preservation. I can still be proud of myself for, came into today, followed my rules, and didn't force anything. So it's still a good day. It's still a good day. Even though the P&L did not go up, it is still a good day. I had a correct trade idea. Exactly what I wanted to happen actually did happen. Wasn't able to get execution on it. Like I said, this would have been a very good trade if we had not already taken the internal high. If we just got this close and then got a pullback, I'm probably setting a limit order right here. Stop below the protected low. Boom. Something like this would have been a very nice trade. That wasn't presented this morning. So I'm not gonna force something and chase price up here when we're this close to the 1-hour gap. When there's also an SMT, when we've also already swept the internal high. I'm not doing it. So that's the trade recap for today. This was a very good week, and I know these videos are not getting as many views as they used to, which obviously they're not going to after taking a 6, 7, 8 month hiatus. But I'm just so glad to be back documenting, and talking through the charts helps me so much as well. So I've really missed this, and I think it's showing in my trading right now that I'm trading pretty good. Yeah, just biggest thing is going into next week is not trading the P&L, not trading my balance, and just focusing on each and every day as its own individual trading day, and just focus on executing that day to the best of my abilities and just following my rules, following my system. And then if I do that, everything else is going to fall into place. It's just going to fall into place, man. So as long as I continue to be disciplined and treat this like like I'm a professional, then I'm going to get professional results. Like, it's inevitable. But yeah, just focus on the inputs every single day, and the outputs will come as a byproduct of just being focused and dialed in on the inputs, controlling what I can control. The market is never out to get you. All we are as traders is we're just analyzing information and making logical decisions based on the data that the market's giving us. So just keeping things simple. Like I said, excited to be back. Even if these videos are not getting as much traction as they used to, you know, I'm just excited. I'm excited. It's given me a new drive, I feel like. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna yap too long. Hopefully y'all stayed safe today. Like I said, this long right here was the only potential trade that I saw. After that happens, it's hands off. There's really nothing else to target. I am happy that we left this weekly low untaken leading into next week, because that gives us a very nice drawn liquidity to potentially target to start the new week with a lot of confidence, right? Especially we're now stacking up relative lows by the drawn liquidity. I expect us to come maybe tap this daily fair value gap, and then next week we're going to head down here. That's what I would expect. So I have a lot of confidence in that if that starts to play out next week. And that's why we preserve capital today, because there's always more opportunity. Next week is going to have 1 to 2 days of smooth, volatile, good delivering price action. So why would I take capital away from next week that I can use next week? Does that make sense? Like, why would I strip capital on a bad trading day to end the week this week when I can save it and use it? Because I know most likely there's going to be 1 to 2 days for sure that's going to be high probability next week. So anyways, man, that's a trade recap for February 6th. And yeah, man, I will see y'all next week. Ready to get after it. All right. Peace.